room if you all have any questions or want me to talk about something today. Send it to me. Send it to me. This morning it's been pretty calm. I did come in here and I watered a couple of plants. Um, really, guys, all the plants in here are doing pretty well. That's one thing that I have always talked about is how I love easygoing houseplants because life just comes in different ways for me. That's the way my life is. So my plants are adjustable to my life. Yes, I do have a couple of plants that do require a little bit more attention than others. However, they can still go days without me having to be in here and actively look at them. I know that I stress to you all to daily walk around and do your plant check, just to see, hey, does this have something going on, yes or no. After you find out that a plant has something going on, then you need to decide what day or when you are going to treat it because it takes time. It would be foolish for you to think just to walk in there and get a plant and take care of it and give it the needs. It's going to be like a 2 or 3 minute process. It's going to be a couple of minutes to 30 minutes to an hour. And a lot of times that I found is when you go into a pot or go into a plant to fix something that you see, maybe a disease, pest, so forth, or a pot issue, you usually find some other issues too, which allows you to get in there and take care of it. So it turns into more time. It goes from a simple repot or a simple cutting that could have taken you maybe 10 to 15 minutes to now you have a 30-minute to an hour process going on. And let's not even talk about if you forget certain items that, or you don't have certain items for it. You get in the middle of doing your repot and you find out that, let's just say you don't have any Super Thrive. I've done that before. Got all the way to the end before I get ready to do the watering and realize, oh shoot, I don't have Super Thrive. So now I gotta go to the store. And now you have to decide based on your time, like, hey, do I stop what I'm doing or do I continue through the process? Because if you stop what you're doing and go to the store and get it, you leave mess on the floor. But if you clean up the mess, you may run out of time to go get it before you have other things. So don't, I try to get into the habit of making a key note, like a mental note of when I repot or when I do something, how much of the ingredients that I have. And I also, this is my plant shelf over here. It's not the most organized, I'm going to go ahead and tell you. Over here. This is pretty much a clear see-through of everything that I have that I can see. So I have gold plant, faucets, and crown molders. Oh, sounds nice. Okay. Right here. This is an eye view of everything that I do have, okay? And I can pretty much look at it any time that I'm in this room and get a quick glance of if I'm running low on pot and mix, so forth. Now, he's kind of forgetting. I will probably say the perlite. The perlite is something that I ordered just in a huge quantity, so I have it for so long that I always just know it's there until I use it up, and I'm like, oh shoot. So that would be the one thing that I go out of because it's not quite as visible as the rest. I won't need moss for years. That's the way that I feel. Pot mix, now I do go through that, but I have spurts that I'm doing repotting, and now I know how much repotting mix I'm gonna need based on how many pots I'm gonna repot. Just 2 or 3 repots? Oh, that's easy. You know, of course I got more than enough soil for that. And I also keep a bucket pre-made at all times as well. I'm gonna go ahead and just show you where that was at. Over here. Right down here is where I keep my pre-made mix. Now, you never know what's going to happen. You remember yesterday we were in the room and I accidentally bumped over a plant and it spilt over? Well, I needed a little bit more mix. Now, I did take that soil and stuff off the floor and put it back in there. I surely did. It's just soil, okay? I keep my room clean, making sure I don't have stuff like pesticide or the food, fertilizer, things like that. Now you do want to just give it a sweep or give it a vacuum. I am not the cleanest person when it comes to the plant room. Like, I will knock soil over and leave it there for days. But after about a week or two, it is wise just to get in there, because sometimes your indoor pot and mix may have a little bit of moisture in there, and if it's just retaining that, it could cause some type of mold or fungus in the room, and there's no need to have all your plants get affected for that. So definitely at least every 2 weeks, definitely get in here, vacuum or sweep or do around your plant area if you have it. And might I also suggest, get you containers or devices or bins or shelves that's going to allow you to be able to see all the stuff that you need to care for your plant visibly. If not, you can end up spending a whole lot of money. I spent a lot more money buying stuff over again just because I couldn't find it and I needed it than if I would have been able to see it. I can't tell you how I go through bins and stuff now and find stuff like, oh my goodness, I have this, or some of that stuff I can still use too. So just keep that in mind. Trying to get you all as close as I can over here. I'm gonna turn the light on. All right, so I'm gonna try to get in here so you can see me, but I don't want to block most of the plants. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this section over here. Now, this is probably my second least needy section. They're monsteras. They do pretty good as long as you keep them with water, guys, and just watch them for thrips. Anytime you see any monstera start looking a little bit weird or a little bit different, get in there, because there is going to be a problem going on most likely. I've never ran into a problem where I looked at a monstera and it didn't look healthy and I got in there and it was just a false alarm, okay? They will let you know what's going on from the yellowing of the leaf, or you'll definitely start seeing a whole lot of just brown on the stem. When that starts happening, that's a key that usually you have some type of pest. And most of the time, that usually says thrips. Monsteras are just known for getting those. I don't know how we can prevent them, but hey, I'm working on some stuff. You know, we talked about that yesterday with the pesticide. We're going to see if it works and goes from it. Again, I told you all that if I could find an all-natural approach, I would do that as well. But just the rubbing alcohol or peroxide or whatever is recommended. Don't take that. I don't know that 100% sure. But I believe you just swab a little bit of alcohol and you dab the plants like with mealy bugs. That takes care of it. That's a whole lot of dabbing. And that's all I see myself doing, is going around doing each and every dab instead of having something to spray. Now again, I'm not telling you what's right and wrong. It's just what works for me. So that's why I'm just sharing it with you. But over here, the monsteras are pretty much easy going. They do need a lot of light. Now, monsteras need more light than what we give it credit for, and I probably have to increase the light over here. One of the things I may get to, I don't know exactly when, is I feel like I need another light over here. I don't know if I can maybe just adjust this one and raise it and kind of have it, but I feel like the monsteras was really loving this light right here, being at this level, because I do have a monstera flame back here that is needing a light and is starting to grow. And eventually I'm going to have to move and adjust that as well. So lighting is going to be an issue that we're probably going to have to focus and talk about, and more on that later. Other than that though, guys, you just water them when they start looking dry. That's the best way I can tell you. Their leaves will start to curl just a tad bit. Now they can curl more, but this is what I look for. I can see that their leaves are starting to curl in or curl down a little bit more than usual. Now I pay attention to my plants a lot, so I can notice little bitty things like that. So when it does that, that's usually a key for me to stick my finger in there and make sure that it's dry, because I still double check. I don't just go by one sign. I always try to use 2 signs in everything. If it looks like it needs to be repotted, I will look at it, feel like it, compare the size, look at other plants that I've repotted around that size, just to play that safety game again. Now, when it comes to the actual repotting with this plant. We've talked about the mixes several times. You give this plant a little bit more indoor potting mix, or um, not gonna say peat moss, but certain, like, because it likes to hold on to moisture a little bit longer. You still don't want to have so much in there that the plant can't properly drain through. And I know it's a trick. It's not a trick, but you're really not going to know what to exactly do for your plant until you get in there. I can give you the best recommendations on several things, but it's all about getting there and getting a feel for it, because I also don't know your exact root system. Like, I had a plant, the philodendron. Let's go with it. I can show you over here right quick, actually. Oops, sorry about that, guys. Um, I'm not going to move the plant, but right here, this plant. All right, this is a big plant. It goes all, it's going down there from the floor. It's running up on here. This is the same plant that I'm referring to. Guys, I pulled this plant, and this plant probably had about 3 leaves less than what you see now. I pulled it out to do a repot, and the root system was like that big. I'm not even playing with you. That's how small it was. So, I had to learn how to improvise, because I couldn't go in there and do that repotting the same way that I did before, right? So I had to add way more chunky mix in there, because if I had packed it with too much soil in that little root system, the plant would have got root rot from water, because it would have retained all of that in the pot. So I needed something to improvise with. So that's why I'm saying I can give you the recommendation of things, but I can't tell you exactly, because you're going to have to get in there and get a feel for it. If you have a really good root system, it's real like thick, a good one, then you can give it a little bit more indoor potting mix when you repot it with your chunky mix, because most likely that root system wants to retain that moisture and is doing pretty good in. Pay attention to what you used for your plant before. If your plant was doing great before in a pot, and you know exactly what you use for your pot mix, what you've been feeding it, keep using it when you do your repot. Don't get so focused on having to buy the latest and the greatest thing because they say that this is the best and this is good for your plant. My thing is this: if your plant is growing really good and you're proud of it, continue to use it, because your plant may love that. Every plant is different. Everyone has its own different genetics. I don't care. I say it all the time. You go to the store, buy 2 plants from the same store at the same time. You come home and you keep both of those plants for about 6 months, and you will see noticeable difference. Either the leaf size, the shape, the color, and you giving it the exact care. You know, it happens. So don't be in such a rush when you do your repot to get the latest and the greatest thing, unless you've done your research and you really are ready to go ahead and take it to the next level. Now, I will say, as you do spend a little bit more money on your indoor pot mix or just your plant ingredients, for the most part, you're going to get better quality. And that's because a lot of plants don't require a whole lot when it comes to their mixes, but they do require certain things. They do need to have a good indoor pot mix, and I call an indoor pot mix something that's mainly a lot of peat moss with just a little bit of perlite, but it's very soft, okay? That right there, plants, that's how they retain their nutrition and things from the fertilizer, so they do need that, okay? But you need your perlite and you need your chunky mix, because that water needs to be able to go from the top to the bottom or travel down at a good rate of speed, because if not, because your plants, they're going to suffer from root rot, because we're not outside like those plants are, where, you know, the sun can come and dry up all the rain that's been, and it can stay like that for a very long time. And plus, the world's so big, water just get pushed elsewhere on the land to wherever it's needed. So of course you can't overwater a plant outside. I mean, I'm not going to say that because it probably can happen, but I'm just speaking from on regards to the indoor plants. So when we have those plants like that, we need to have a good soil mixture. And when you buy a premium version, they usually go ahead and combine all that stuff for you. Now, what kind of brand and based on your liking of what kind of things that they use for it, that's completely up to you. But for the most part, you're going to get something, a high quality, what I call premium is your mix is going to come with some indoor pot mix already in it, some perlite, some orchid bark or some koi koi, and I'm even seeing now people buying bags that have leca in. I'm sorry, I saw something pop up on here, and I don't know. Oh, one of your plants waved at me. Um, I take mine outside for showers, about to stay on bugs. Oh my gosh, why is it going away from me? I'm sorry, guys. I saw this popped up and I just started going. All right, let's see. I like mine outside, take a shower for bugs, substrate. That's that. Only thing that I hate about now is that the weather has changed. So yeah, I'm not gonna be able to take mine outside and do it. But that's the best. Zero soil is the key. Just watering all the time. If the water is too much, you know, Darren. I think that that is so cool. I've been seeing people using soilless soil or whatever, however they mix it, and I'm thinking that it's just like orchid bark and perlite. Don't get me telling stories on it, but it's a certain mix that they use, and I've really thought about it because the only thing that I am a little worried about is that having to keep up with the watering. If it's not going to retain any moisture, can you imagine how much watering you have to do in regards to what I'm already used to? That could probably could get to be a lot. I wish these would stay on the screen, guys, because it pops up and then it leaves, and I just don't want to miss anybody's messages. And I'm sorry if I'm answering late. Some people probably already left, but um, that's pretty much it with that. So I don't think I really have much to talk about unless you all have some questions or anything. I hate to be on here and just rumbling. I can talk though. Let's see. I take my plants. Yes, yes, I do too. I actually have a that is to Operate Light. I hope Oprah Life. Hope I'm pronouncing it right. Um, I actually have a curtain that's outside that I have to bring inside, and the thing is that that plant is probably about this big, round at the top. Tell you what I did. I wanted my house to look like fall outside, so I went to get some mums, and I saw that one sitting there on the floor. And I was like, I've never seen one of these this big. Now it was for $50, and I know I don't buy plants for me to, of course, unalive them. But I was like, if this is going to make my house feel like fall for the next 3 or 4 months outside, that's a good investment. If it dies, it dies. And I've heard you can bring them inside, and as long as you have them facing towards the east facing window, then the plant should be able to acclimate through the winter months inside. Well, of course, a cruton can be inside, but I just didn't want mine inside. I didn't know they could be outside, like the direct sun. I mean, that's the instructions, direct sunlight. I'm like, a lot of stuff I didn't know. Maybe I, just naive to it. But anyway, guys, if you all have anything, put them down here. If not, I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to end this live. Now, I do need to do some finishing a little bit of water. Now, I do need to do that. I started this morning, and as soon as I got over there to get ready to water the plants, I was like, I need to put something on my Instagram. So I ended up making like a video for that, and that's a cool thing. I will say that that's a cool thing, and having so many different platforms, I get to be so many different individuals. Let's see here. I use orchid bark, promise. What do you mean by pumps? A pineapple starting to grow a pineapple inside the house? That is so cool. So I've actually been seeing when I went to my local nursery, I actually been seeing a couple of pineapple trees in there. I mean, I just saw like just a little part of it, and I want to say I even saw it one time in a local grocery store. I mean, it's not like they keep them in there a lot. And all the irrigation that has an app. Oh, oh man, you're. Oh wow. Okay, so you have a plant room? Because it sounds like you're running a system in there. You're gonna need a little bit of space. So it's inside right now. Hmm, that is very interesting. Are you using grow lights to grow it? If so, like how long? Like, and what do you grow like a tree or a plant, like the pineapple? Um, hmm, that's really interesting. I keep saying I want to grow some tomatoes inside the house this winter. I already have the greenhouses, so it's not like I have to do any more work. But I read about my wife, and she was like, you know, see, she knows my adventures. Only like 3 months in the pump. Can you like 3 or 4 plants? We're gonna have to circle back around to that. We are. Well, it'll be soon because I'm hoping for my birthday, which I'm saving my money. Um, I'm gonna get the saw. I want a saw, and I basically just want a saw so that way I can make some tables in here, and they're gonna be like custom, so I can set every plant up the way I like. Like, don't get me wrong, I do like the plant shelves that I have, but it's just not. Let me say, it's about. You say it's about the live in though. I left the screen. Sorry. It's a plant, not a tree. Oh, okay, okay, cool, cool. I might be interested in that. Thanks, Anna. I might be interested in that. I'm telling you. But yeah, I want some plant shelves, but I want it to be the way I need it to be because these plant shelves, they're nice, don't get me wrong, but my plants are just all different sizes. And I like my plants grouped the way that I like them. So I don't really want to separate them off of having to use a plant stand that was just generally made. So I'm going to customize it. Now, for aesthetic reasons, I am a little bit worried because I've never done this before. But I'm just thinking it can't be that hard to put 4 legs and a flat top together, right? I mean, I just need the saw so I can be able to cut the woods and stuff myself. And at some point in time, too, my wife and I, we have our own company. We have a embroidery company. So we also at some point are going to need like custom shelves and things to be made, and it would be nice to be able to experiment on my plant shelf because I know that if I trust enough of my plants, I trust it enough for it to be out. You know, because I treat my plants pretty good. I like to think so. It'll just give me an opportunity just to kind of go another sector. So my focus won't be on buying plants, but more so continuing to care for my plants in a better way. That was one of the things I really worked on this year and was intentional about making sure I can provide my plants with good care because I kind of was a lousy caregiver. I did what needed to be done. I gave it water, would sometimes give it food, but then I just realized like, hey, you need to just go ahead and do it right. So that's what we did here. I have a green pepper plant. Good luck. Good luck on that, for real. I hope they come out good. I really do. I was talking about that the other day about us. We need to like pay attention because like with seeds and stuff, how it's not really in our fruits and our food. So learning how to grow your own garden and things like that is not only going to be vital or for our health, but I feel like it's also could be very lucrative like later on. Like so, I'm pinching that out there as a $1 million idea. If you ever thinking about it, is hey, if you start your little garden right now, I mean, you can take those seeds and keep on planting. You just have to get you some land, and boom. I haven't done it yet, but that's something I would like to do. So there we go. When you see me rich with it one day, I'm determined I'm gonna make it. So when I become and I know rich is just a word. Rich by what I means is I want to be able to provide a lifestyle for not just my immediate people in the house with, but like to all my family members and to anyone really I come in contact with. Like um, during the COVID period when people could get paid a little bit more, and life was a lot easier. You know, one of the things my wife and I we used to do is when we go out for dinner was pay for other people's meals and just do things. And it's it's kind of being able to have the opportunity to be able to do that just for people, just in general. It don't matter who it is. Like I remember we went to like a Disney on Ice, and we wanted everybody around us to have such a good time because it was the first time of us being able to take our kids and give them a really good experience just in life. Like, my wife and I, we worked very, very hard. We started off in like fast food, and we went from that to my wife just came home. She's like, "Listen, I'm not doing this more. I'm gonna be a nurse." And I was like, "Oh, whatever." And I was just worried about the other side. I'm like, we how are we gonna make it? Because she had to drop all the way down to become a CNA, and they don't get paid a whole lot of money. And in comparison to my wife was a unit director at a fast food restaurant. You know what I mean? So that's like going all the way from here to starting at the bottom, and it just was, what are we gonna do? Because we're struggling trying to do that, and it just I just had to trust her. I mean, she didn't give me a choice, and life got better, and it just kept getting better and just kept getting good. And it really just got me mentally to a place where I realized that life's purpose is just bigger than mine. And I guess I just became really interested in wanting to grow things to go from there. And at that time, the gym was shut down, so I had to find me a hobby, something to keep me, something that was going to I don't know, just it would reflect what I put in, and plants just give that to me. I'm literally in this room, and I can't think of anything bad going on. Like, I can't think of life. Like, I don't think about my kids, my wife, my mom, my dad. I think about no one or nothing but my plants and how do I make them better. And I remember when I got this, and you know, so. But anyway, guys, I got a little long-winded. I hope you all have a great day. Let me make sure I didn't miss any messages. I do have a Monstera Deliciosa. Yeah, I actually showed the real big one. If you look right here, these are the Thai constellations. So I have this one right here. I can probably move you a little bit closer. Let's see here. So I have that one right there. Then you see I have my other Thai constellation there. And I actually have that one right there. Now, I do have a real big one that's upstairs in the room, but we're going to have to get to that one some other time because, yeah, I'm going to have to go through hurdles. I'm in the middle of cleaning, so stuff is everywhere walking up the stairs. But yeah, but we will get to it. I did it. The day before yesterday, I did a live. And I think that, I don't know if that one recorded or not, but it's on there. Yeah, anyway. All right, let me make sure, and then I'm going to get off. Yeah. All right. Well, I will see you all on the next one. Bye.